speaking session. And I feel every person really needs to have this skill. If you desire to be a leader, or if you desire in any career, I feel a public speaking skill is a very important skill that you need to have. So for me, I really look forward to this session. And the other thing that's really making me excited is that we are going to learn from a very skilled professional. Yeah, a very skilled professional who's very renowned, and also he has been on platforms like TDX. Yeah, for those who know the TED Talks, yeah, he's been there, and also he's part of the Toastmasters. Oh wow, this guy is loaded. I just feel so excited. So I don't know about you. Just be prepared. Make sure you take a notebook and just take down those notes so that you can be able to learn about public speaking from a profession. Having said that, I'd like to hand over to the facilitator, Billy S. Murphy, to be able to lead us in this session. Thank you very much, sir. And yeah, you will take over, sir.
Thank you very much, Ewa, for that amazing introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. I am extremely exhilarated to be here, and thank you so much for according me this opportunity to speak to the youths, because this is my passion. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution. You can kill a freedom fighter, but you can't kill freedom. You can kill a dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. I live for the people, and I'll die for the people because I love the people. These are the words of a charged 21-year-old Fred Hampton, a chairman for the Black Panther Party in the United States. He was brutally killed by the FBI. They sprayed more than 83 bullets through his home, and they killed him in his sleep. His crime was to stand up against the discrimination that was happening against the Black people, against the police brutality that was happening against the Black people. And it's unfortunate that we continue to see that. They killed him because he had a voice. He had a voice, and he had the audacity to get onto the podium and preach against the atrocities that were chartered against the Black people. Fred Hampton died many years ago, but 50 years later, his voice, his message echoes even louder because he decided to use his voice. Ladies and gentlemen, why is public speaking important? And why public speaking? Why are you even on this call wanting to learn about public speaking? I hope as we go on this chat, you are going to pick a few things. And I promise you, this is going to be an interactive presentation. I did not come with my PowerPoint. I forgot my slides. And we are going to make it very interactive because it's only through interaction and experience that you learn. What are the expectations? What are the outcomes of this presentation? You are going to become a world-class presenter. Oh, wait a minute. No, you're not going to become a world-class presenter, but you at least are going to pick a few principles that I'm going to guide you on. Public speaking is like a muscle. It's not something that you build by lifting weights 24 hours. It is something that you build by lifting weights 20 minutes every day, every month, and every year. The secret is within consistency. We will learn more about that. I will teach you about the best structure that you can use for you to become a better speaker. And I'm going to talk about three things: better speaking, better thinking, and better listening. Guess what? Public speaking is all about those three things. You can never make a good speaker if you're not a good listener. So let's jump right into it. I would like to ask the Zoom master to pull up a poll. I want to take a poll before we get started. Zoom master, kindly help me with a poll. Zoom master, is the poll ready?
Yes, it's coming up shortly.
Thank you. Once the poll is coming up, I would like all of you on this call to type in the chat. Just use one word to describe how you're feeling this morning. Just one word. Let's get going in the chat and just type how you're feeling using one word. Yesy, I like that. Delighted, happy, enthusiastic, amazing, exciting, excited, enthusiastic, happy, energetic, expectant. I like that. Enthusiastic, great, excited, excited. Eager, excited, awesome, awesome, amazing. The word of the day for us today is enthusiastic because it has taken the day. Someone is feeling anxious, and it's okay to feel anxious. The poll is not coming up. We will push it to a further time. Ladies and gentlemen, public speaking is all about communicating your vision, your ideas, your purpose. I talked about Fred Hampton, who died many years ago, but we still talk about him today. And his fight has still gone on because he put his voice out there. And now many of you, just like me, growing up, we were always taught to shut up many times by our parents or guardians. Billy, you're making noise. Keep quiet. You're talking too much. And our society actually uplifts the people that are quiet. He's a quiet guy. She's a quiet lady. She's well taught. She doesn't talk. And over the years, we embrace that, and we have embraced that. And now when you're 15 years old and you're asked to stand on the podium or on the stage and expected to speak, and you expect to all of a sudden get all the principles and all the brilliant ideas on how to speak, no, it doesn't work like that. Remember what I said, public speaking is a muscle. It's a brain muscle. And what we've done best as Africans, as Zambians to be specific, is to kill that part. And we've never exercised that muscle. And all of a sudden, now we expect ourselves to be experts as public speaking. And it doesn't work like that. I'll take a mini pause there as I look at the way the poll is coming up. Only 16 people have responded out of 60. Let's get going, guys. Let's get going. We don't have much time. Let's get going. 35%. Once we get to 70%, I am going to share the results. We're at 54 now. 65. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We're at 72 now. We're at 73 now. Let's get to 75. Great. Zoom Master, you can stop and share the poll at this moment. All right. Fascinating. Look at how the fear for public speaking stands. It stands at 28%. People are more scared of snakes. I can guarantee you we have more ladies on this call because I know how my wife reacts just by seeing a lizard. And then a few of us are scared of death. I'll give you a fascinating statistic. We may end the poll now. About 73% of people world over put the fear of public speaking ahead of death, snakes, and scorpions. Public speaking, the fear for public speaking is called glossophobia or public speaking anxiety. And why is it so? It's because of what I was just talking about before the poll was popped up. It's because we never exercise this muscle. And all of a sudden, you want to jump into a ring with Mike Tyson and you think you can go punch for punch with him when you haven't been exercising. It doesn't work like that. So the rule number one for you to become a better public speaker is to first know where to get the right answers from. The world has changed. You don't need to know everything up front. All you have to know is where to get the right answers from. And at least you know that when you come to the Youth Hub, you can get the right answers from here. This is your first step. Secondly, it's not about you taking notes of what I'm talking about here and you becoming an excellent speaker. It's about you putting to practice the things, the principles that I will share with you. Begin to practice every day. Spare 10 minutes to practice before the mirror. This is what will turn you into a great public speaker. I will start by telling you about better speaking. How do you become a better speaker? You need to prepare. Preparation is everything. Before you can begin to present, you need to prepare and practice before you get to the stage to do any presentation. Always remember that preparation is key. And then there's an important aspect to public speaking. It's called better thinking. And this is something that we encounter every single day in our personal lives, in our careers, in our community. We experience this. And it's called impromptu speaking. How many of you have ever been called upon impromptu and you're just told, John, could you kindly give us a toast at a birthday party? Or it could be at a funeral. They ask you to give the eulogy or give a tribute to the person who's just left us. Or it could be at a wedding. You're called upon to actually say something about the bride and bridegroom. How many of you have found yourselves in that situation? Well, I have. The second one is an interview, job interview. Most of you are probably growing in your careers. You go for a job interview and they just throw you off by asking you a question that, Michelle, could you tell us a time when you encountered a challenging situation and how did you get around it? Can you tell us about that? Oh gosh, you may have read about them, you know the values, you know the vision, and didn't see that coming, did you? How do you respond to that? You could be in a meeting and then your supervisor or your boss just calls upon you. Lydia or Likando, what is your view on COVID-19? Do you think we should open schools for the children? It's something that you didn't prepare for, but you have to rise and shine. Guys, every public speaking opportunity is an audition for leadership. I want you to remember this. Every speaking opportunity is an audition for leadership. When you're given an opportunity to speak, always remember that there are people watching and they are auditioning you for leadership. And don't you want to shine? I would seize the moment because leadership is everything. Leadership is the only platform that you have or portfolio that you have to influence other people. Leadership is the only portfolio you have to inspire, to educate, and to motivate. But how How do you go about it? Let's start with the interview setup. So you are asked, could you give us a scenario where you were confronted by a team member aggressively, and how did you resolve that issue? I want you to look this side. You've seen this? This is prep. You've seen that? That is star. You've seen this? This is story. I want you to take note of all these three things. But we are going to start with star. Remember this acronym, STAR, and practice it every day. Let it be a structure in your mind. When you're in an interview setup, they ask you an impromptu question that you didn't prepare for. Remember STAR. How do you answer? Billy, tell us about that situation when you were confronted. STAR. The S is for situation. So when you begin to speak, the brain is an amazing organ. It begins to build up the points for you as you are speaking. The secret is just for you to gain the courage to start. Starting is the most important thing. The Chinese have put it so well that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, because they know that the moment you just make that first step, then you'll be telling yourself, just one more step, just one more step. And in a short period of time, you are there, you've reached 1,000,000 miles. Situation. So you go like this. I remember when I was supervising a team of 15 people, and we were asked to deliver a project within 5 days because it was very critical for the company. See what I did? I gave a situation. Get to the second part. T, task. You jump right into the task. Our task was to deliver a working platform that people were going to log on from their homes because of COVID-19. They need to get on the platform, log in, and submit their complaints to us. This is the task. Done. We now get to the third one, action. What did you actually do on this team? Then you go. The action that were expected of us were that Lydia was supposed to make sure that we had the necessary laptops for us to do the coding. Chewe had to make sure that the communication plan was in place. And as we are going about it, we discovered that most of the people did not have enough bundles to jump on Zoom. And this became a barrier to communication. We had to find a workaround for this problem. I went and approached management and lobbied for free bundles to be loaded in our workers' laptops or cell phones. And that made life very easy, because then we were able to deliver on our milestones, on our deliverables, not only within time, but within budget and with the best quality. By the way, I'm just making these things up. I did not rehearse. I'm following STAR. Situation, tasks, action, results. So every time you ask this question in an interview, always remember of a situation. Talk about the situation. This was the situation. What were the tasks that you were given? You set the tasks. What were the actions that you embarked on? You set the actions. And what were the results? And people will be always amazed to say, how do you know so much? Because you are supposed to be structured. Don't start mumbling about. It's very, very important for you to have a structure, even in an impromptu speech. I will now quickly move to the next one. In a meeting setup, you are thrown off guard. Likando, what is your position on the closure of schools? What is your position on the closure of schools? And this is something that you didn't even prepare for, but you are asked in a board meeting or in an executive meeting, and you need to respond. And this happens a lot. I'm sorry to cite some of our beloved politicians. When they go on TV, they usually ask such questions. And you know what they do? They just start rambling about. That's why the other party is not doing a lot. Last time they killed a lot of people. This, that. We are going to change this. We are going, and they just start going about, beating about the bush and not stating any fact. It's because they haven't put a structure to the way they answer questions. This is a secret that I'm giving you. We now move to prep. When you're in a meeting, remember prep. You're asked a question. I'll go again. What's your position on the closure of schools? Mr. Likando. Now that we go prep, you start with the point. That is the first P. Point. What is your point? Just go with the first point that you have in your head. I think it's a very, very important position or action for the nation to take in closing schools. You've stated your point. End there. Don't go further to re-justify or reconfirm or reaffirm your point. It's enough for you to just say that. What's important now is for you to jump into the P, which is the reason. What is the reason why you are stating that position? It is very important. And the reason why I'm saying this is we need to safeguard our lives. Can't buy life. It's okay for us to be delayed in many activities in society or in our schools and come back safe and fit and continue with the development agenda. It will be catastrophic if we went on like this and lost many lives at the expense of just getting back to school. You've stated your reason. Now you move to the E. Example. For example, it's debilitating to see on TV that the biggest mortuary in Zambia was full to capacity. And the coffin sellers are actually running out of coffins. The funeral parlors are fully booked. This is a sorry sight. This is a sad situation. We don't want to continue like this. Action has to be taken. You've given an example. Another example, you could give your personal example. For example, I just lost my loved one 2 weeks ago. And we couldn't even bury our loved one properly because we are not allowed to gather. Is this the situation we want to perpetrate as a nation? That's an example. Then finally, you come back to your point. This is why I stand by my point that let's not reopen the schools. Let's wait a little bit longer until the vaccine program has been rolled out vigorously. You see what I did? I used prep. Point, reason, example, point. Point, reason, example, point. I want you to take note of that. When you're in an interview, you remember it's a situation, the task, the action, the reason. I will pause here. I want to welcome some courageous people, those who are scared of snakes. At least I know you're not scared of public speaking. I want volunteers. Kindly raise your hands. Let me go to the participant. So by show of hand, I want you to take a bold step to come and join me on this podium. Who wants to go first? And I'll guarantee you I'll call on your name if you don't volunteer. Chewa, you help me? In case I miss out a hand, please just add that person to the spotlight so that they appear on the screen next to me. Come on, guys, let's make it fun. This is not a classroom setup where you just come and take notes. We need to interact. We need to have this experience because public speaking, remember, is an experiential process. You've got to feel the fear and do it anyway. Because guess what? You always have butterflies. Even as I'm speaking to you right now, I have some butterflies in my stomach. But well, over the years, I've just learned to, get them to fly in a unison fashion, at least there's some logic. Great. Judith, if you're able to switch on your video and unmute yourself. Judith?
Good morning.
Hi, Judith. Hi, great. Nice.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Judith. Let me add you to my. Let me add you to my. That I've during these online meetings. Great. See you, Judith. I would like you and a round of applause to you for taking this step. This is the first step that you becoming a better speaker or public speaking. It's the boldness, it's the ability for you to step up. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 10. And I'll ask you a question. Your brain might freeze, but I just want a minute. Use the principles that I taught.
To Judy. I compare myself to Judy Ngulube, the journalist, because I at one point wanted to become a journalist like her. I wanted to be seen on TV and to discuss issues, that affect people, affects the community, and I can give an example. When I was in secondary school, I became privileged to become part of the CNA group, that is the Children News Agency, and we were trained by some journalists that were specified in that were specialized in children's rights. So that's motivated me to be like Judy. Yeah. In this, wow. I think I used the prep. I'm not sure.
You have used the prep, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, notice how she actually went on to state the point at the beginning. The person that she admires, she went on to give the reason why she admires that person and gave an example and then ended with a point. Job well done. That's all there is to public speaking. And when you do that every day, come up at the podium, stand up at your church, stand up at school, stand up anywhere and just begin to speak. Your brain muscle, your public speaking muscle will begin to build up. You will have some brain freeze because guess what? The brain is the only organ that works all the way from the time you're born until you're called upon to speak before a crowd. Then it just stops. So thank you so much. Please leave your number and there's a token that will be coming in form of talk time. And it's not a 5-kwacha, I can guarantee you. So just type your number in the chat box. Chewa will take note of that. You get that token. Thank you very much for stepping up, Judith. And I look forward to seeing you at many podiums. Thank you. I saw Michelle's hand up. Michelle, where are you? Could you please come back? After Michelle, there's Bibian. Michelle, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Great. There you go. Let me add you to the spotlight. Fantastic. Michelle, pick a number. By the way, congratulations for stepping up. This is the first step of courage to becoming a better public speaker. No one has it figured out, or not even I. So this is a great step. Pick a number between 1 and 10, except for 2.
4.
4. Okay, let's see. What do we have? What gets you excited about life? What gets you excited about life?
Wow. I would say hello?
Hello,
okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so I would say what gets me excited about life is being able to make a difference in another person's life, regardless of who they are.
That's good. Do you have a reason why you would want to do that? And do you have an example when you did that?
So I think seeing other people happy makes me happy. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just gives me a sense of joy to know that I could play a part in another person's life that would make them happy or make a difference in their life.
Do you
An
have a
example,
memory of, yes?
yeah. So an example would be a couple years back, I worked as a child journalist for the Children's Press Bureau. And we were privileged to go into a community, Nega Nega, in Mazapuka,
Yeah.
to speak to children our age, some were older, some were younger, but they were facing a particular problem. At the time, I think it was a water problem. And no one really got to sort of help them with that situation. But we covered the story and we managed to sort of speak to the ward councillor, and we made noise about it as young as we were. But it was just the fact that we were able to get to a space where we could speak to young people and sort of influence decision makers to step in and allow them to sort of like rectify the situation. I think for me, that was very fulfilling. Yeah.
Wow. Bravo. Notice how I guided you through the prep and you blossomed. At the beginning, you thought you didn't know what you wanted to talk about. But it's very amazing how you are actually comfortable within yourself. You know the stuff that you want to say, but because you're so focused on how are people going to think about me? Am I going to match up to the expectations? So that's a barrier. And that's something that I want you to kill. Focus on the message. It's your story. Nobody else's story. No one else went to Nega Nega. You are the one who went there, and you are the one with the passion. So you bring the passion. That's the skill in public speaking. Just be authentic, believe in your story, and just say it as it is. I saw the way you started smiling when you were talking about that story because it impacted you. Congratulations, Michelle. So I see the Youth Hub love money. When I said there's an incentive and then we have hands everywhere. Yes. Okay. Michelle, thank you so much. Let's have your number in the chat box as well. I would take 3 more due to time. I see Bibian raise the hand. After Bibian, let's have Betty. No, we need to have some gender parity. Where are the guys? Bibian, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, please. Are you on video or you're just going to?
I'm just going
Hi,
to
Vivian.
speak.
Okay, all right.
Hi, I'm
great.
here. I'm just going to speak.
All right, pick a number between 1 and 10, quickly.
I'm going to pick 8.
8. There you go. Who do you love and what are you doing about it? Who do you love and what are you doing about it? Under a minute.
Okay, I love my mother. I'm not even going to say like, I love my mother because she's the most amazing person to me right now. And the reason why I love my mother is because she has done everything possible to raise me right, to ensure I go all the way up to university, and she did that single-handedly. An example of why I love my mother is because she's always there and she's very open-minded. We can discuss about anything. And my mother, she's very kind. She's very kind, and I feel like that has spilled over to me, and I'm growing up to be just the way she is, and she's the way growing up to be just like that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Notice how she just flourished through the prep. She loves her mother. She gave a reason why she loves her mother. She gave an example, and then she re-emphasized why she loves her mother. We have a few minutes to go. Many hands because of airtime. Let me have Patrick Banda. Patrick Banda, quickly come on and let's do this. I'm noticing all the hands that are here. We will not be able to pick all of them, but we will pick some and we will continue with this conversation. Hopefully, we'll be able to meet physically someday. I can see you guys already becoming pros. Patrick, pick a number between 1 and 10, except for 2, except for 4, except for 8. Shoot. 5, great. What do we have? What life lesson did you learn the hard way? What life lesson did you learn the hard way? Shoot.
Okay. The life lesson which I learned the hard way, it is through education. When I reached grade 12, I didn't do well at my grade 12 examination level. But I did not stop from there, even although I spent some time doing voluntary work at my local urban clinic. That's where I raised the man, because my parents refused to pay for me, saying that you are old enough, we did what we could for you. So I had to volunteer and do some workshops with Young Happy and other organizations to raise that man. Today I can proudly say I'm at the university doing bachelor's in business administration. Thank you, sir.
Oh my gosh. Inspirational, really inspirational. And notice how personal stories actually get you to be natural as you're speaking. And there was structure to his speech because he gave us a point, he gave us a reason, he gave us an example, and gave us a point again. I will give an opportunity to 2 more people. We'll thrive through, we'll see if we can give more questions at the end. Please drop your line in the chat box and we will get back to you. Let me pick on Loti Mukanaka.
Hello.
Loti, there you go. Let me bring you on spotlight. Cool. Loti, pick a number between 1 and 20. I've stretched it now.
8.
8. 8 has already been picked. Pick another one.
19.
19. What do we have? If you had a friend who spoke to you in the same way that you sometimes speak to yourself, how long would you allow this person to be your friend? I'll rephrase. If you had a friend who spoke to you in the same way that you sometimes speak to yourself, how long would you allow this person to be your friend? Under a minute. Shoot, Lottie.
I would love to have a friend like that because great minds think alike, you know. Because having a friend who's like myself, I would love a friend who's caring, one who puts other people first, puts other people's opinions first than yourself. Because as a true friend, you have to look at the background of others, where they come from, what life they are living, what social way, their gatherings, like that. Yes.
Thank you. You are a nice person. They will be my friend for a second. I think Natasha shares that with me as well, because I would be like, they will be maybe overbearing, you know, on me. Thank you so much. And continue practicing, and take note of these strategies that we have here. I will give you more resources and point you to where you can go to begin to practice more as a public speaker. Thank you for taking the courage to just come up on this screen and speak to everybody, 83 people on this call. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. Thank you. I will now give the last chance to, oh my gosh. Who should I pick now? I have so many hands. Let me pick Mahongo Nasilele. Mahongo Nasilele. So we needed 5 hours for this. Let's have a longer session next time. And I hope COVID-19 goes away so that we have an interactive physical session. Nasilele, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Privilege to see you on video.
Okay.
Okay, great. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this, ladies and gentlemen, communication is not only about voice. Communication is about everything. It's about your entire body. It's about your gestures. It's about your facial expression. As you speak, you engage your audience more when you look at them. And let me teach you this quick trick whilst we are at it. With online meetings, eye contact is a bit tricky. When you look on the screen, you are actually not doing eye contact. People will think you are reading what you're talking about. Have you seen the way I'm looking right now, right? But I'm looking at her. But it seems like reading somewhere. So the secret to online engagement, you look in the camera. You'll be tempted to look down. I'm also looking down sometimes because I want to see the person I'm speaking to. But when you're doing a presentation online, it could be an online interview. Always remember, have good lighting. You've seen how my lighting is. Have good lighting. Invest in what is important. You can get a ring light. You can just fabricate a light so that you have very good lighting. You're visible. Your facial expressions will show when you're sad. Your facial expression will show when you're sincere. Your facial expression will show when you're lying. But imagine if you're in a dark place. That will impede on your communication. So you look in the camera just like this. Eye contact. All right, pick a number between 1 and 20.
7.
7, great. What do we have? Yeah, so these questions are not in my head. I'm reading, guys, so don't be scared. Number 7, do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Shoot.
Actually, I'm a very inquisitive person. As an example, I would meet an influential person and ask them how they got to where they are. And then simply because I have understood that you will learn more when you ask. And so, yeah, I'm actually very inquisitive.
Fantastic. You didn't give me an example?
So
let me guide you.
Okay.
I'm inquisitive the way you started. Like, for example, there was this time in high school when there was this situation. And because I'm so inquisitive, I asked myself, I need to study about this. So I started going to the library every day to learn more about this skill. And I ended up harnessing the skill. This is why I love being inquisitive. It helps me grow every day. You saw what I did there?
Yes.
You make it about yourself. Remember an example about yourself. Most of us wants to be like another person. We want to be like Obama. We want to be like Billy. We want to be like Natasha. We want to be like Chewe. We want to be like Patrick Banda. We want to be like Miriam. But guess what? They're already there. So when you try to do that, you become a counterfeit. And the world never goes for counterfeit. We always say, this is Chinese stuff. This is because we don't like counterfeit. We want the original stuff. So you should know that you are unique the way you are. Your voice, everything, your experience, your background is enough for you to bring out your own examples and to speak. Do not try to be like another person. You might be asking why this is related to public speaking. Yes, it is very related to public speaking, because when you're speaking and you cite examples that are dear to you, your own examples, then you become original. And the audience is able to pick that this person is talking about something real. When you begin to cite like Obama, I have a dream, they will know that this person is faking it. You know what I mean? You don't need to speak in an accent. You actually don't even need to do it in English. I'm sure most of you relate public speaking to English. No. It could be Bemba, it could be Nyanja, it could be Tonga. The principles are the same. We're all doing this in English because we have variety of tribes. So we need to find one common channel of communication. But public speaking is not about the language. Public speaking is not even about being eloquent. For your information, it's about the power of the words that you're using, the power in your structure, the authenticity of what you're doing. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost running out of time. So keep those hands up. We'll see if we still have some time. I need to conclude. I am very excited. I love to make this very interactive because public speaking, you should never be lied to. You will not attend a workshop that give you a certificate. Yes, Billy attended the workshop, now he's a public speaker. No, you are not. You've got a long way to go. You've got to practice, practice, practice. What you practice most becomes instinctive and natural. No one was born a leader and no one was born a public speaker. We were all born to be made. I want you to remember that. We were all born to be made, and we are made through such channels that we have. Continue doing this. Once this is done, don't close that book that you have. Open the book every day. Allocate time. Speak to your family. Just bring them together. I do this with my family. Every day, I do bedtime stories with my kids. And you know what I do? I ask all of them to go in front. They tell a bedtime story. Come and sit. We give another person a chance. They tell a bedtime story. Then I go, I tell a bedtime story. Then we come back. We pray and sleep. Do you know what I'm inculcating in my children? I'm teaching them how to speak, how to gain courage to stand up and speak to an audience, but I'm also teaching them how to listen. It's not every time that you're supposed to speak. There's a time when another person will be speaking and you need to listen. Most of us respond. People who speak on top of another person when they're in a conversation, because you're already, when a person is talking to you, you already think of an answer. The moment they finish, it's supposed to be like this. You didn't even take time to understand what the other person was talking. So I encourage all of you to listen to understand, not to listen to respond. You got that? Listen to understand and not listen to respond. Very, very important. It is going to help you understand even the most difficult people, because guess what? There are reasons for them being difficult. If only you took a moment to listen and really understood why they are like that, maybe, just maybe, you would find a better way of amicably communicating with them and engaging with them. This is public speaking. It's not just about getting on a stage and talking to people. It's about listening as well. Feedback is breakfast for kings and queens. Feedback is breakfast for kings and queens. Let me dive into my conclusion. I have 5 time-tested tips that I'm going to share with you about public speaking. And I'm going to end with these 5 tested tips. And because this is experiential, notice the way I am doing my gestures. Light travels faster than sound. You're most likely going to see my gesture before you hear me. That's the reason why we see the fire on a gun before we hear the sound, the poof sound. We see the fire. In public speaking, people will see the fire before they hear you speak. This is why it's very important for you to harness and master your gestures. You can't say, I was very happy. Does that even make sense? My facial expression is showing sadness. My hands are showing that I'm scared and I'm closed up. As compared to say, I was very happy. You see what has happened? I've opened up. So gestures, I've opened up, and people will see the gestures first, and then they'll see a smile on my face. They know, indeed, Billy was happy about it, because they're able to see the gestures before I even speak. So I said, I'll give you 5 points. I'm embellishing, I'm emphasizing on the points. Just in case you did not hear the 5 by word of mouth, you see 5. Don't just say, I'll give you 5 points. You weaken your speech. You want to say 5 points. And then number 1, know your topic, know your subject. When you're given a topic to deliver at corporals or at Youth Hub, always know your topic. Do not put yourself in a catastrophic position where you pick to speak on a topic that you're not aware of. You know what will happen? You will black out. You will start remembering lines. What did I read about there? Then you make unnecessary pauses. You'll be closing your eyes. You'll be getting away from the camera because you're trying to reach for a thought. Your eyes will be rolling up because you're thinking as you're speaking, simply because you picked a topic you're not aware of. If ever you were given an opportunity to present at work, at home, in any setup, please make sure that you do your research well. Read up, research, know your stuff. customize your stuff, bring personal stories, because you can never forget about your personal story. You can never forget about yourself. You are you. You live in that body every day. You can't forget the experiences that you go through. Always attach those stories to how you do your presentations. That was point number one. Master your topic. Master your subject. The golden tip, 2, you say consistency. Don't start 1 and then you say 2. You've got to be consistent, because people make cues when they're listening to you. So you started, I'll give you 5 points. I'm not giving you 1. And all of a sudden you're not giving them. And in their head, they get messed up because they're used to that structure. So you've got to be consistent as a public speaker. Number 2, you even make a move. Number 2, know your audience and your space. I'm speaking to youths. That's why I'm excited here. I'm not speaking to a corporate entity where I was going to come in a tie and I was going to be talking about corporate jargon. Our strategic plan for this year needs to be wary of what is happening around the world. When we do our SWOT analysis, we note that COVID-19 has accelerated the digital transformation, but our products actually matching up to the customer experience. You see what I'm doing? I'm speaking to an audience, a different audience that is so corporate. And so my demeanor changes, the way I dress changes, the way I speak changes, the content changes as well. You've got to be very aware of your audience and the space. Emotional intelligence is everything. You can't be amongst elderly people and start using some lingo, some Excel lingo in that meeting. It will take you to be serious. You get it? Read your audience. Speaking to ministers, what will appeal to them. When you start speaking to them, use the lingo that they understand and that they will respect you for, because you are in that space. When you're speaking to kids, you not come to them and start telling them about rhetorical devices when you're delivering a speech. Do you know about repetition? Do you know about rhetorical questions? That is way beyond them. Tell them public speaking is good because it's the only way we share our vision and our dreams with the world. You get it? They get excited. When you speak your mind out, you actually speak things into existence and you actually become a superpower. And the kids will be very happy. I want to become a superpower, like you said last time. So let's go. We do bedtime story and we do speeches. This is how I relate to my kids, because I understand the audience. They are my audience at that particular time. You are my audience at this particular time. The way I dressed, I thought about it. The way I'm speaking to you, I thought about it, because it had to be engaging and not just me coming to dump knowledge on you. I'm a TED speaker. I'm a Toastmasters. That wasn't necessary for me. It was just for me to come and interact and have fun with you. That was number 2. Understand your audience and understand your space. Number 3, never, and I say that, never apologize when you're on the stage. Guess what? People have no idea of what your script is about or what you're talking about. But most of the times when we black out, when we forget, we tend to say, I'm sorry, pardon me, let me start again. Could you allow me to start again? Do you allow to do that here? Okay, oh my God, sorry. This is you start talking. And then people will be shocked, be like, okay, now does this person even know what they're talking about? In the first instance, people want you to succeed when you get on the stage. They want you to succeed. That's the reason why they'll lend you their ears to listen to you. The people on this call respect me, and I know that's why you're here. And so that should be cheering enough for me to go ahead. When you make a mistake, just take a pause, skip to the next line and continue. No one is ever going to know that you actually skipped a line. And your brain will pick up from there, other thought patterns will come, and you conclude with power. Remember, never apologize when you make a mistake in your speech, because that mistake is usually about you just missing the lines or missing the words. And really, people are looking out for the substance in your speech. So if I was supposed to start by introducing myself, but then I just started, I am a revolutionary, I will not go. Sorry, let me start. My name is Billy. I am a revolutionary. Do you see what that does? People will be like, okay, what is that now? But if I just start, I am a revolutionary in the midway, and then I say, by the way, my name is Billy Samuel Mwape. You see what that does? People are not even aware that you messed up the structure, but you still come out like a pro. Number 4, imagine yourself giving a great speech. I always feel great when I'm giving a speech because I always imagine myself giving a great speech. Maybe it's not even great what I'm talking about, but I always imagine myself giving a great speech. That's what you want to do. Feel good about it. An opportunity to just speak to people is a rare opportunity. You need to be excited about it. Just feel good about it and imagine that you're giving a great speech. Finally, number 5, focus on your message and not yourself. When you focus on the message, you tend to be passionate rather than focusing about yourself. When you focus about yourself, you feel your legs shaking. You feel your voice shaking. You feel your body shaking. And you'll be like, oh my God, I'm losing it. They will see me. And it will just keep on disintegrating until you fail on stage. And you will fail to actually deliver with power. 5 points. Number 1, know your topic, know your message. Number 2, know your audience, know your space. Number 3, never apologize when you skip in your structure as you are delivering. Number 4, imagine yourself delivering a great speech. And number 5, focus on your message and not yourself. When you get the passion to speak, to educate, to inspire, to motivate, you will trigger that purpose within you for the world to see. You will trigger that purpose within you to find your voice. Just like Fred Hampton, who was murdered 50 years ago, but his voice still echoes louder than before. You can be that person today. You can be that person today. The best thing you can ever give to anybody is not money. It's not wealth. It's helping them find their voice, because it's only in their voice where they can translate their purpose and be able to serve humanity. I encourage you to take these basics that I've given today, put them to practice. I'll see if we can incorporate Toastmasters sometime in the future using Speechcraft to give you a platform as a youth hub to begin to practice these, because it's the only way that you become best. Remember, brushing your teeth for 10 hours in one day will not make them healthier. It's brushing them for 2 minutes every single day. Consistency is what will make your teeth healthier and whiter. That applies to public speaking. It's a muscle. Keep working, guys. Keep working. Thank you very much. And I'll hand over back to the coordinator. I don't know if we can take some questions at this moment.
I think we can take some questions.
Oh,
Yeah, we can take some questions before I come in.
so do I allow you to manage the questions?
No, you can manage them. We can just allow them to send their questions in the chat box if they've got any questions. Then after you're done, then I can come in.
Thank you. So how many minutes do I have for questions?
We can have 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So those of you who have questions, please put them in the chat box. And those of you that want to actually ask a question here, raise your hand and I will call upon you. Yes, there's a question. How do I join the Toastmasters team? So it's easy for you to join Toastmasters. There's a fee for you to join Toastmasters. There are many clubs around Zambia, and with the online platform, you can actually meet even at other clubs all over the world. But for this type of arrangement, I would like to think we can work out something that is cheaper, which is called Speechcraft, because the The normal Toastmasters, you pay $45 every 6 months. If that's something that you are able to do, then we can talk more after this. I'll ask Chewa to share my number, or you can speak through Chewa, the coordinator, then we can coordinate and find a way of doing that. Thank you. The other question is, wait. I'm trying to read. Chewa, could you read the questions for me?
Sure. Let me.
What causes someone to stammer, forget words during a presentation? How can one overcome that? That's a very good question. What causes someone to stammer during presentation? It's many things. The center of it is fear, glossophobia, just the fear of speaking publicly to people, because you think they are there to laugh at you when you fail. But like I said, everybody's rooting for you. They want you to deliver a good speech, or they want you to make a very good presentation. Secondly, it's lack of preparation. If you don't master your stuff, you don't master your topic, you don't master your message, it's very possible for you to forget some words and begin to stammer. Here's a secret to that. If you forget the words, do not force your brain to cue into a line that you've forgotten, because that will lead to stammering. It will lead to the filler words. Have you ever heard people speak like, because they are thinking, and that actually disturbs the structure of speech. You want to pause. If you forget a line, take a pause, a natural pause. And when you take a pause, don't look elsewhere. Look at people, and then get to the next point as you're trying to remember the other point. That's a hint that I want to give to you. The forgetting of the words, you will always forget the words, because unless you have a photographic memory. But should you forget the words, at least remember the structure. Are you using the STAR, situation, task, action, result, or are you using the prep, point, reason, example, point, or are you using a story? So when you remember the structure, it doesn't matter the words, you always flow along your structure. That's my advice. But the magical solution to that is practice, practice, practice.
Bill, so there's one question that has really come up here. I think that's one of the questions a lot of people have. How does one overcome anxiety of public speaking?
Okay, thank you. I've always used this analogy of a gym. You are told you're going to represent Zambia at the Olympics. Track and field activity, is it swimming, is it boxing, and you're going to go against world-class athletes. What's the first thing that you do? You will not just sit and celebrate that. Yeah, Tokyo, here we come. We wait for the day to board on a plane and go there. You get in training, right? That's what you do. You subscribe to a gym, and there's different things about subscribing to the gym. You can be a gym member on paper. You've subscribed to the gym. I'm a gym member. And you can even show around people that you're a gym member. But once you get in that ring, you've been knocked out because you haven't been working out, so you're not in shape. Some people subscribe to the gym, even go to the gym, and just have fun walking around, you know, having fun, chatting with people there, and they come back. And they never get in shape. It's only for those who go to the gym and jump on the treadmill, begin to lift weights consistently. It's only those people that actually build muscle and prepare well. Should the Olympics come, they will have prepared the mindset, their body for the occasion. This is the only thing that helps in overcoming anxiety. It's to confront it. That's why I kept saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's not that you're comfortable. You're uncomfortable, but do it anyway. Because guess what? The point of growth for a muscle is actually a point of failure. When the muscles pain when you're lifting the weight, that's a point when it begins to grow. If it's light workout and you don't get to a point of failure, then you're not moving to the next stage. So you should be able to fail. Be okay with creative failure. Because guess what? Failure is a necessary principle towards any success story. No single person has ever just jumped into a success story. The anxiety will be there. The fear will be there, but just do it anyway. Find a platform where you can practice. That's why I'm saying I will speak with Chewe if we can find means and ways of allowing our youth to actually have this platform where they can practice, they can speak, they can share their visions, they can share their purpose. Because if you're home and you're not doing it, maybe with your family, you will not build that mass of public speaking. And we want our youths to share their visions, because we're tired of saying the youths are the future generation. No, we are not. We are the now generation. We don't want to wait until we are 50 to become ministers. We have to become ministers now. The only future generation are babies, not the youths. I hope I answered that question. Do we have any more? I have 3 minutes.
Yes. So we have a last question. So that like two, I'll just find them. So there's one which says, is there something like too many gestures when talking? Then also another question is that, does speaking in front of a mirror when practicing help, or is there a best way of practicing public speaking?
Thank you. That's a question and an answer in itself. There is something like too much gestures. When you're speaking, if your gestures are not purposeful, your gestures have to be purposeful, like I was saying. If you're in a somber mode, you close up like this, or you take a step back. So everything, I couldn't share everything about public speaking because there's a lot and it has to be a gradual process. The positioning, if I step forward, it means I'm talking about something positive. If I step backwards, say, I was hurt. See what I do? See what I'm doing? The gesturing is aligned to the message. So if I'm talking about things and I'm just throwing hands like this, then this, it could be destructive. It is actually destructive because people are always looking out for the body movement. Are you making purposeful gestures? Are they related to what you're talking about? Do you want to be open about what you're talking about? Or do you want to be closed about what you're talking about? Here's a tip for our ladies. When you get into your boardrooms, this world is full of stereotypes. It's unfortunate that we continue to fight for our women to sit on boards. It's a pity that we keep fighting for women to actually take center stage into many leadership positions, because over the years, we felt that the woman belongs to the kitchen, which has been flawed. And now, when our women are given the platform, when they go in the boardrooms, or when they are given a stage to actually deliver, and I'm speaking to all the women on this call, all the ladies, they now want to prove a point, and it's not their fault, because they will have to speak twice as louder as the men for them to be heard because of all those stereotypes. So they speak at a high pitch and they come out like they're aggressive. In the meeting, when a woman does this in a board meeting, we are working on this, it shows submission. And most men will look at them to be weak. So there's a whole lesson about gesturing. In a boardroom, now a woman should give this to the audience. We are working on this. This is what we are doing. This is what we did. So this is defensive because of the nature of the world that we've been living in. But when you're out there interacting with your team, you don't want to speak like this. We did it. No, you're closing yourself up. We did it. This is a collective win. Indeed, teamwork makes the dream work. You see what I'm doing? I'm open. So when your palms are like this is a natural position of your hands. You're happy, you're open. But when you're like this, you're defensive. So there's purpose. There's a reason why all these gestures are there. It's just knowing when to use them correctly. Are we done? Are we done?
Yes, I think we're done with the questions.
Okay. So I'd just like to thank all of you for taking this opportunity. I already concluded. Please practice these. Remember, and always remember that you are unique. The Creator created you with a purpose that you need to give out to the world. Nothing was created by itself. And no manufacturer ever creates a product to fail on the market. We were all created to succeed. Just like every product, a pressing iron and everything comes with a manual, even a phone comes with a manual. If you don't follow the manual to use it correctly, you will not get the full potential of that product. Similarly to you, always practice, 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 practice. That's your manual, and you will fulfill your purpose with effectiveness. And let's go to our graves empty, guys. Let's not take all the greatness within ourselves to our graves. This is the call to action that I'm leaving to you as Youth Hub. And I look forward to interacting with you more in our future opportunities. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure you having me on this call. And I'll hand over back to Chewe. Chase, have a great day.
Thank you so much, Billy, for that wonderful session. So, guys, I've been sending a link in the chat box. Just please make sure that you fill in that chat box. So, as of now, I'd like to hand over to our COO, that's Faith Kauma, to just give the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thanks, Chewe. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. I hope you can hear and see me. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Billy. This has been a very, very interesting, incredible session. Even I was taking notes and I was like, wow, I didn't know these tips. But I think the biggest takeaway for me, and I think for most of us on the call, is just the fact that public speaking is not something you can learn in one session. I'm actually now being conscious of the fact that I'm not practicing what you said, which is look into the camera. So public speaking is a muscle that you have to build. And, you know, the more we lift weights, even in the gym, the more we try to learn and practice and actually, you know, use audiences, take up opportunities to speak whenever we're called on. Those are the things that will help us improve the way that we speak. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. And we would definitely want you to come back. I know so many people in the chat box were saying, please come back. When next can we have a session? We'll definitely want you to come back and share more tips with us. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll keep practicing STAR, we'll keep practicing prep, we'll keep practicing story in everything that we do as we improve this skill of public speaking. Thank you so, so much, Billy.
Thank you so much, Faith, for that. So, guys, like Faith has said, we are going to, so this has just been a tip of the iceberg. It was just like a dionko. So there are more sessions that are becoming. So for more interactions with Billy, we'll have now in-person sessions that will be hosted at corporals. So just watch the space. Make sure that you go and like our Facebook page, on Instagram, on Twitter, even on LinkedIn, so that you can be able to watch the space, that when we get to advertise for more sessions with Billy, you may be able to be part of those meetings. So as of now, I'd like to just thank you all for being part of this meeting, and just make sure we'll close the meeting late. We'll close it late because we've sent a link there. So just feel free to fill in the form, and immediately fill in the form, feel free to leave the meeting. So thank you very much for being part of this meeting. We thank you and we love you. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.